Advantages and disadvantages of a cabin crew career. Introduction to the module. While there are challenges to working as a cabin crew, there are plenty of benefits as well. The packages will vary greatly from company to company and are usually based on your length of service with the company. Topics to be covered in this modules are: advantages of cabin crew career, disadvantages of cabin crew career, advantages of cabin crew career, schedule flexibility. The first advantage that most cabin crews will point to is how much flexibility comes with the job. Hundreds of daily departures and huge numbers of flights mean that employee schedules are much more variable than a standard 9-to-5 office job. You can work fewer long days, or decide to work shorter days more frequently. Also, you have the freedom to pick the number of hours you work, meaning you can drop trips, someone else works and you're off, or work overtime as needed. And there's more flexibility than just days off. When you're tired of working in coach and the thousands of passengers you serve in a week, you can change cabins and work in business class or first class. If you are tired of dealing with grumpy or pushy passengers, you can work in the galley to set up and prepare the meals instead. Vacation time. Another advantage is liberal paid vacation time. While you might only get a few weeks paid vacation on paper, in real life, you can often stretch that vacation. This means pursuing other interests such as school or another job is feasible. While it sounds like working 2 full-time jobs would be exhausting, flying and a second job often seems to balance each other well. There are generally 2 kinds of vacation time, such as straight pay and trip removal. With straight pay vacation, you have the vacation time you've accrued, and you bid for the specific weeks of the year you'd like to take your vacation. Even at companies where you bid predetermined schedules, if you have a vacation during a month you're on reserve, your vacation is handled similarly. Geographic flexibility. The flexibility also means you can live in one city and work in another. So if the first crew base you're sent to is in an expensive city, after a few months, you can move to a less expensive city and commute to your base. This, seasoned attendants will tell you, is one of the most distinctive and important parts of the job. But it requires paying strict attention to flight schedules, weather patterns and other delays. If you miss your commuter flight, you miss the trip you're supposed to work. The airlines keep a few spare crew members standing by for last-minute no-shows, but if too many commuters can't make it to the airport, the airline is forced to cancel flights. To avoid disciplinary action that results from missed flights, many cabin crews arrive several hours before the departure of the flights they're working. Another popular option for those living far from their base is to combine trips, so they're flying back-to-back for 2 weeks, anchored in their base city, and then take a week or 2 off in their home. Travel perks. Another main draw of this career is the travel perks. While travel isn't exactly free, it's pretty close. Fees vary depending on the airline, but if you don't mind flying standby, it can be cheaper than taking the bus. It's a bargain, plus, the psychological freedom of being able to just hop on a plane is liberating. Cabin crews get benefits beyond those of other airline employees too. One is that you can usually ride on an available jump seat when there's space. This is a privilege reserved for cabin crews. Variety. What's more, you won't have the burdens of an office job. The same old cubicle, same old clients, and same old co-workers. Dealing with passengers can be challenging, but after a bad flight, you're done with them. The same can be said for grumpy co-workers. At a large crew base with over 1,000 cabin crews, it's easy to go months or years without seeing or flying with the same co-workers. That said, if you find co-workers you click with, most of the airlines have a system of buddy bidding that allows you and another cabin crew to have the same schedule. Pass riding and free seat. As a cabin crew, you should be able to take an extra jump seat when the entire flight is full. With the cutbacks in personnel, many aeroplane types have 6 or 7 cabin crew jump seats when only 4 cabin crews serve in those flights. But you can't always count on getting remaining jump seats for pass riding, especially if you live in a city where there are a lot of commuters. You could be bumped down on the list or get stranded. Some airlines fill non-revenue airline employee standby lists in seniority order, others on a first-come first-served basis. Some airlines never allow employees or pass riders in first class, while others automatically place you in the highest cabin available. On some airlines there are additional fees depending on which cabin you sit in. Sometimes it's free in coach, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes a coach is free if you have a certain number of years with the company, and you'll only pay the difference between a coach and first. Healthcare. The average health insurance plan is no less than in any other industry. The airlines are going the way of most other companies by forcing employees to pay a growing portion of their monthly healthcare insurance and forcing them to go to PPOs, HMOs and other organized healthcare plans. Some companies do allow you to go to a private physician, but you'll likely pay much more money per month and still only be covered to 80%. Some companies may have dental or eye care plans as well. In the event that you are injured in the course of performing your duties, you can claim an IOD, injury on duty, and receive workers' compensation or avoid draining your sick bank. But airlines tend to be very specific about what kind of injuries qualify, and they can make it very difficult to substantiate your claim in order to avoid abuse. Profit sharing. At some airlines, this may be a part of your contract, or at others, just a policy meant to give employees some extra incentive to be a team player. But companies occasionally offer profit sharing to employees. Generally, if a company makes over a preset amount of money, they distribute a predetermined portion of the money to each employee. This can happen on a quarterly basis, or as a lump sum payout once a year. The additional value of employees holding stock is that they are allowed to attend annual shareholders' meetings and vote on the direction of the company's management. In some cases, employees become primary owners of the company and are allowed to have representatives on the board of directors.